GG's!
Let's go, boys.
Oh my god.
Got him!
Hey!
I killed him with my
Hey! Hey YouTube, what is up? My name is Samim Supreme and today I'm going to share with you 5 tips as well as the best way to build your class to get easy wins in Zombie Royale. Now I gotta say, I've been enjoying most of the things that's been going on with the zombie event, except one little thing. Holy... What the... Anyways, in Zombie Royale, none of the kills, deaths, or wins count towards your overall Warzone performance, which is partially why it's so much fun. As per usual, building a solid class with a perfect loadout is essential for this mode, mainly because if you do die and redeem yourself as a zombie, even though you lose your perks, you will come back with your loadout guns. So without further ado, let's get started. First and foremost, your primary weapon needs to have lots of bullets and you have to know the recoil pattern so you can easily control it to secure your kills, just like in regular Warzone match. My personal favorite in Season 6 is Ram 7, and this is how I normally build it. We have the Monolithic Suppressor for 10% effective damage range boost as well as concealment of your position when you fire your weapon. FSS Ranger Barrel for the biggest range boost available, which is about 35%, as well as vertical recoil stabilization. Commando foregrip as your underbarrel to reduce side-to-side recoil. 50 round clip, simply because that's the only option we have available for increasing our ammo capacity. And last but not least, and this one is definitely optional, the optic. I like using the optic since I don't have the option of aim assist on mouse and keyboard. My personal favorite is the Corp Halo sight, primarily due to the fact that it adds noticeably less time to your aim down sight animation. However, if you do have issues spotting the enemies in the dark, then either Solo Zero NVG or any one of the thermal optics would be a great choice to go with since they help you outline the enemy. Keep in mind however, thermal optics don't outline humans with cold-blooded perk. Alright, for your secondary, it's extremely important that you have an accurate hipfire weapon. I say that because most of the time when the zombies attack, they will throw a gas grenade first, which means if you are in the radius of exposure, you will no longer be able to aim down sight or swap your weapon. And as the zombies approach you, your only hope is either your teammates being there for you or a proper hip-firing weapon. Now, I tested out the shotgun and let me tell you guys, definitely not a move. Instead, I would personally go with an MP5 or an MP7. While an MP7 has a little less damage up close, it is 30% more accurate when hip-firing when compared to an MP5. Here are the 2 builds that I would recommend. MP5 with Monolithic Integral Suppressor as a barrel, 5mm wet laser, Merc foregrip as your underbarrel, 45 round mag, and sleight of hand for perk. And here's an MP7 with Monolithic Suppressor, FSS Recon barrel, 5mm wet laser, Merc foregrip, and a 60 round mag. You could sub the barrel attachment for sleight of hand since most of your engagements with zombies will be up close, but personally I think 60 bullets is just enough to not have to reload as often. For your perks, I recommend running cold-blooded because as I mentioned earlier, it does counter the enemy's use of thermal optics, overkill for your first loadie and then ghost for your second, though you could use restock if you're an aggressive player, and last but not least, amped. You could also go with battle hardened if you feel like you need it against zombies' gas grenades, however, since you have a proper hip firing weapon, I feel like you will get more use out of the amped perk. For your lethals and tacticals, it's definitely optional. I got the heartbeat sensor and the C4s. Keep in mind, electronics such as heartbeat sensors will be temporarily disabled by zombies EMP. Alright, so tip number 1, stick together during zombie attacks. Now this tip applies to Warzone in general, but it's particularly important in Zombie Royale because if your teammate gets jumped by a sneaky zombie or there's more than one, they will rely on your immediate support. Keep in mind, it only takes 3 melee hits from a zombie to down a human. Tip number 2. Find a zombie early game. When you kill a zombie, they drop an insane amount of cash, the least I've seen was 6k and all the way up to 14, self-revive and a munitions box. Getting this money right at the beginning of the game will help you get your loadout faster, and with the munitions box you'll be fully stocked right away. So you can go hunting and drop crazy amount of bodies before anyone else gets their hands on their loadout guns. On top of that, you will have your guns until the game is over. That means, even if you die as a human and as a zombie and get purchased back into the game, you will come back with your full loadout. Side note, no perks as I mentioned earlier, so you will have to buy another loadout if you want to get your perks back. Tip number 3. Listen for zombies. If you hear a zombie drop nearby, switch to your secondary weapon built for hipfiring and be ready to shoot. Chances are you will get gassed first, so you won't be able to swap your weapons or aim down sight afterwards. And always try to aim at the head for the highest damage output possible. Tip number 4. Zombies have lots of perks. Now, as a zombie, you have an increased movement speed and a 24/7 UAV as your passive skills, as well as Mega Jump, Gas Grenade, and an EMP as your unlimited active skills. Each one of the active skills has its own little cooldown, so be smart with how you choose to use them. It may be wise for one of the teammates to stay as a zombie and guide your team towards the enemies by utilizing the UAV, disable enemy teams' electronics and vehicles with EMPs, as well as help teammates to press the enemies with gas grenades. Also, while you may not be able to pick up a contract, you're still able to help complete some of them. Tip number 5. Kite as a zombie. Zombies are very fragile, so if you choose to be more of an aggressive player and take out humans to get your pens to come back to the game, you absolutely have to learn how to kite. Since you have no ranged ways of dealing damage, the best way to get an enemy is to run around them. Also, don't forget that you take no damage in the gas, so if you can jump deep into the gas and sneak around the enemy's back, don't even go for a gas or EMP. This will give the enemy less time to adjust to what's happening. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate your time. If you enjoy the content, a like is always appreciated, and if you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the rest of my match, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.
I'm having a really bad game, bro. Yo, this fucking dude, man.
They camping right upstairs, like by the stairs here. I see the shadows.
Yeah, I'll go no ladder, I'm going to ladder. I'm sitting on the ladder now. What? It didn't hit? Give away over there. Cracks.
Fuck me, done. Behind me, zombie. He's right here, he's the bottom.
Bro, I didn't see him, man.
Got him.
I'm coming back. No, I'm coming.
Ah, yo, two solos.
Yeah, they're on the far edge over there. Good chill. No fuck with them. There's a zombie behind.
I'm dead. Zombie in second floor.
Eight of the step.
14 bodies, boys. That's crazy.
You guys go press that one dude. I think it's one dude up there. Oh. Got him. Team wipe. One more dude. One more dude, 5 zombies. Right, sweet. I got it. He's on me.
Coming back.
Got him.
Last team.
One more blue on me. I'm gonna land on him as a zombie. Dead.
GG's!
Let's go, boys.
Oh my god.
Team popped off.